Hi guys, so this video is for the assignment about TED Talks, and I was actually excited to do it because I love watching TED Talks and I learn a lot from them. And the first one that I watched was one that Sir Ken Robinson did, and it was about how schools kill creativity. And the first question was, what was he trying to communicate? And I think that he was trying to communicate that the human race has a huge variety of creativity and different talents that we all share, and that we shouldn't be focusing on just one half of the brain that involves math and science and literature and whatnot, but that we should be focusing on arts too, because dance and music is just as important. And he did very well communicating that. I think that he used his humor definitely, because he was able to incorporate that in his speech. He was also very confident too, because he knew all the information he was saying. And I really liked when he told stories, because for me it was just, he was able to take things to a personal level and it was easier for me to connect to them. And then I also think that his speech was very effective because he asked questions and he made me think. And the question that stood out to me the most was the one when he asked, there's no program that holds a dance class every single day, and why is that? And I've never thought of that before, because for myself, I'm a cheerleader and I've done dance ever since I was 4. And anytime I've been involved in either of those, I've either had to go to a dance school for lessons or do cheer outside of school too. And so it definitely made me think, because I've never thought of that before, because that's just how things are. And so I liked this speech a lot because it definitely connected to me and it applied to me. And then the next question was, how did he use his humor in the speech? And I think his humor was perfect. It wasn't too much. It didn't overpower the speech, but it made things very interesting and it made me feel comfortable. I think it made the audience feel comfortable. And so I just think overall he did really well, and I actually learned a lot from that TED Talk. Okay, so after I watched the first TED Talk, then there was another one, and the topic was about feminist, and the speaker's name is Shamanda. I think, I'm not positive, but I really liked her TED Talk, and she did really good. And she made her points by definitely telling stories. I mean, that's how she opened up the TED Talk, and she continued to tell stories throughout it. And I thought that was really good because it was able, for me, I could make a personal connection with her. And so I assume other people in the audience were able to do that too. But then in between each story, she was able to back it up with facts and statistics. So then it was just even better, because then it was like, oh, that's the truth. And so I definitely like how she did that. And after I watched that TED Talk, then the next question was, what are TED Talks? And I've watched TED Talks before, but I did not know what it stood for, so I looked it up on Google, because Google's awesome. And it stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, and its purpose is to spread ideas worth meaning. And I think that's great, because then people from different cultures and people who experience different things can talk, and they can share their ideas and their experiences with life, and people can learn about it. So I think that's great. People do that. And so one thing I did notice while she talked was that she was very serious in the beginning, and she stood there holding her hands like this, but in front of her. And then as she continued to speak, she loosened up a little bit, and she was starting to have a little bit of jokes, and she was smiling a lot more. But she was definitely very confident with her story, and she knew what she was talking about. And she did not use notes, so I thought that was cool. And she also did a very good job of adapting to her audience, because she told a little bit of background on her country and culture, and so it made it that much more easier to understand her topic. So I thought she did a really good job at that. And the next one that I watched was by Patience. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but her topic was, could we cure HIV with lasers? And she gave lots of background and facts too, because I have not learned a lot about HIV, and so it was cool because she not only had visual aids, but she knew that she needed to tell a little bit about the background. And so she did really good at that, and her pace that she was speaking at was so perfect. I mean, it wasn't too fast or too slow. She had a little bit of an accent too, and so I could understand her perfectly. And she did very well with providing a lot of information. And she was also very serious in her speech. And then the last one that I watched was by Aaliyah. We'll say Aaliyah. And, sorry. And her topic was what my religion really says about women. So she was definitely much more light and humorous throughout her speech. She was still serious because the topic that she was talking about is a serious thing, but she definitely was much more, almost bubbly, I want to say. And I felt more comfortable in her, listening to her speech, just because it was easier to connect with her, I guess. That's how my personality is. But she started talking about her family, which I thought was great, because then it was able to make a personal connection with her. And she was telling stories too, and so then that made it even better. And she was very confident with her speech. She asked good questions, which made me think, and I love when speakers do that because then you really have to engage in what they're saying. And she had awesome visual aids to help with that because some of the words that she was using were from the Muslim language, and so it was great that she had the spelling and stuff so that way you could actually see it. So yeah, those are the 3 that I watched, and they all did awesome. And yeah, everyone have a good day. Thanks so much. After the first 2 TED Talks, then I got to choose 3 of my own that I wanted to watch. And the first one I watched was by Sakena Jacobi. Her topic was how I stopped the Taliban from shutting down my school. In the beginning, she was really serious and she just stood there. She had little movement. But throughout the speech, she definitely lightened up a little bit and she had a little bit of humor. One thing that I thought she did very well was that she had a lot of statistics and she told stories too, which helped. And then she adapted to her audience too, because myself, I do not know a lot about Afghanistan. And so she gave background on her country and her culture, which was awesome. So I thought she did a really good job of that. And the next speech that I watched was by Patience. And her topic was, could we cure HIV with lasers? And again, she gave lots of backgrounds and facts, but she had visual aids, which I really liked because I was able to see what she was talking about right in front of me. So I thought that was really awesome. She was also very confident and she knew the information that she was speaking about. But again, she adapted to her audience and she gave them background because I do not know a lot about HIV, but she had a lot of information and information about the medicine that they take too, which I thought was awesome. And again, she was very serious in her speech too. The third one that I watched was by Alala. Don't know how to say her last name, so I'll leave that one out. But her topic was what my religion really says about women. And she was definitely a lot more light and humorous throughout her speech. So I definitely liked her speech better because I thought I felt more comfortable throughout it. And she, too, had lots of facts and statistics. But she also told stories about when she was little and about her home life. And I love when people do that because for me, then I can connect on a personal level. And it's just very much easier for me to understand what they're trying to say and what the point that they're trying to get across. And again, she had visual aid, which I thought was awesome because she had some words from her Muslim language that I did not know, but she had visual aid to show how it was spelled and pronounced, so I thought that was really cool because it just helped me understand. So, yeah, all the speeches were really cool, and everyone did really good. They all were confident and all had great paces at which they were talking at, which is great because then it's easier for me to understand. So, yeah, I hope everyone has a good day.